Hey racers, welcome back to the channel. We are back with another Forza 7 video. Here we are with an S-Class race that we actually had last week in the open lobby in the Jaguar XJ220 Forza Edition. So I thought to highlight this car in its own video and see how it holds up against some of these beasts here. We see a Porsche Carrera, Dodge Viper ahead, Lotus Esprit, Ferrari F12. We've got a lot of really good S-Class cars in the mix. And since I actually built this XJ220 myself, it was about a 6.5 handling build, so I'm trying to see if it's on par with the likes of the Ford GT, the Celine, the Noble, them type of cars that we are all very familiar with. You can see we go around the outside there, coming into the left-hander, then in the inside, past one chance Luke had a little bit of slip. And try a later apex compared to the Dodge Viper up ahead, and as you can see coming down this straight, he's only got a little bit more power than us, so we're actually holding some really great top end in this car, considering it's actually a 6.5 handling build. As for the horsepower, it's got under 600, I think it's around like 550 something. We actually changed the engine, we swapped it to a V8 instead of the V12, which is the most popular builds that I see. Everyone seems to run with the V12s. But I thought, let's try something a bit different, and I'm really happy with how this car has turned out so far, at least in lap 1, coming around the banking at the end of lap 1 in Indy GP. Car holds it really nicely, feels really smooth, holds really good momentum. We also saw this in another race on the night of the open lobby, which was at Mugello. I thought to highlight this race because, as you can see, the braking capabilities of this car helped us really claw down some of that time against the Cobra up ahead, and then a Chevrolet Corvette. I think that's a DLC Corvette, a rapid car that is, especially in the hands of someone fast like Rossi, which we saw on the night. But back to this race, so we're behind the Corvette, up on the inside of the Cobra. We're going to see if we can go around the Cobra, and we managed to pull it off. Really good trail braking. Cobra had nowhere to go, and we are up into 5th place now, so it looks like podium is actually in a shout. Now you might be wondering, why is there a blue car swerving on the straights? Well, it's none other than Jim Supra, aka Hydra, the absolute legend of preposterous cars in our open lobbies. He always seems to take a really botched car that just happens to have a ton of speed, and because of just how amazing of a driver he is, he manages to make it work. And as we can see, he's trying to hold us up on the banking, so we try and go around him, but it's not going to work. So we actually give him a nudge, which only helps him out. It actually slows us down, and you'll notice we've got O2R D squared behind in the Ford GT. Now that is a combination that you want to be fearful of. D squared is a super fast driver in S-Class, so to have him in the Ford GT, it means it's only going to be nothing but trouble for us. Managed to defend against him on the first 2 corners. We're going to try a little dive on the inside of Drakir here. Unfortunately, it didn't work too well. Had a little bit of contact with him, but no harm, no foul. Managed to actually make it work around turn 4. So we're up into 4th place now, and it's really about, can we get around Supra before the banking, or can we get around him at the banking? Unfortunately, we have a bit of a collision there with Major in the Corvette. But we can see the top end and acceleration of this Jag. It is absolutely brilliant. I'm surprised that we don't see this car often enough in the hopper lobbies, but fantastic manoeuvre by Drakir there in that Ferrari 512 Testarossa. It's a car that I really haven't tried much, but I've heard nothing but good praise about it in S-Class and A-Class, so have to watch out for that. I might need to make a tune for it. But let's focus on the Jag. Is Jeremy Clarkson happy with how this car is going? Let's find out around the banking on the 3rd time, lap 3. Closing in on Drakir as well as Supra. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of nudging with Drakir. It costs our speed down, and now D squared in that Ford GT. He is just going to stroll on by. That car is an absolute monster in S-Class. We were all very familiar with it thanks to the videos of Super GT running this car in S-Class lobbies. But we are in the mix of it, guys. it's all about, can any of us make a dent and get past Supra and run away? Now, if there's any car that's going to do it, it may be D-Squared's Ford GT. We're going to see if we can follow suit, as we just about squeezed by Drakir there. A little bit of contact again like the lap before, but unfortunately it was his loss for the position, but there was no harm done and we didn't knock him off or anything like that. So held the curb nicely just to defend the position, but his Ferrari has got a lot of acceleration, so we have to watch out coming into this left-hander. As you can see, he closes in on us big time, makes a bit of a lunge, makes some contact with us, but it's absolutely fine. We managed to hold it. The car is really sturdy, and that's what I have to say about this Jag. I'm really happy with how it turned out, because it holds great momentum on fast corners, and it feels really sturdy in the slower corners as you transition as well. And it's not often that you find a car that handles this well, even if you use normal steering, which is exactly what I done in this race. As you can see, D-Squared getting held up by Supra, and we tried to manoeuvre around the outside, but it didn't work. In fact, we've lost time to the cars ahead, and now we've got a Viper up ahead. The Dodge 13 Viper's just overtaken us, driven by Sendit Media. He's gone a little bit deep into turn 1, so we're going to be able to go around the outside of turn 2, just about hold it off. And now we're going to have to try and make sure that we defend somewhat through turn 3, hug the apex, and then extend out on the exit. And we're closing down to Supra once again. So we're safe from the Viper, but at least for a turn or two. I think that Viper will catch us later on in the lap. We try a cheeky inside manoeuvre, try and beat Supra to the curb. We do even push him to the side, but then the power kicks in. I'm not even sure what car he's in there, so if anyone's watching and knows, please let me know in the comments, because I'm really not too sure. Got the Viper, makes a dive similar to what we had with Drakir in the Ferrari, but we managed to hold it around the outside in the Jag. So as far as Forza Edition cars go, this one holds up really well. We have a bit of contact with Supra, get knocked on the curb, and then we get hit by the Viper. Not too sure what happened there. I think it was a case of the Viper actually sim twitching on the curb, and that's how he went flying into us, but unfortunately completely cost us the better part of 10 positions. So we're all the way down into 14th, and we've only got one lap to go, so try and keep a cool head. Don't lose yourselves. We're all having fun this evening anyway. So let's just see if we can make up a position again, because that's what we want. It's not about winning the races. The most important and enjoyable thing is actually just getting in the mix and having really decent battles with cars. So got drive to drift in the Viper up ahead. We noticed before, back in lap 1 or 2, that he doesn't have a lot more power than us. But I get a feeling that we've got a lot more handling. So as you can see, slash down the time there. We were half a second coming out of turn 2. Now we're right behind him, bumper to bumper. Can we make a move work? So we're going to take a later apex, try and go for the undercut after this right-hander, and we are side by side. And we have both got a really good run. Viper's just got the edge in terms of the top speed, and he's got the position as well. So we're not going to try and dive, not just yet. We're going to try around the outside halfway through the S-bend. Just about pull it off, and really respectful stuff from drive to drift there. He didn't try and go for a move that wasn't on. He conceded it well, and I have to give him respect for that. It's always good to see people who know how to battle cleanly and know when to call it a day. And we're going to see if we can just run away with it on the final banking. Holds over 160 miles an hour on this banking, which is really good for an S-Class car. Can nearly finish at 170 coming out of that turn. And in fact, we got a 122. So if you can see, that's a 122 whilst we were battling. That is super fast stuff. We can see other people with 122s and 123s. But to do a 122 whilst battling, that means this car is good, because the top leaderboard time is practically a 121. So definitely a great car, guys. I have shared the tune as well, so do check it out and give it a go yourself and let me know what you think of it. And if you're interested in, let me know if you're interested, and I'll be more than happy to make a tuning guide for you guys. But that is the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until the next time, guys, take care, see you soon.